feedback we've already received from you all, from the feedback survey form that you had filled post the first GA4 workshop that we had. So today's content is purely based on all the feedback that we've received from you all. So hopefully, today's session is going to cater to a lot of questions that you had asked us in the previous session. Again, if there's anything else that's missing out, feel free to add it in our feedback form, and we'll again try and see how we can cater the best to you all. So again, without wasting much time, while we have our speakers speaking, just see to it you're on mute. If you have any questions, see to it you can add it in the chat box here, or post the workshop. You can just raise your hand and ask your question, and we will see to it that we'll keep taking your questions and answer as many questions as possible. So without wasting much time, let me invite our colleagues Ram and Vaibhav from Videology team, who will be leading the session today. Over to you, Ram and Vaibhav.
Hi, thank you, Shweta. Just a common practices, mic check, and if the screen is visible. Great. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the session series of GA4. GA4 has been the center of what we have been exploring in the last couple of sessions. Yes, and we did a couple of sessions before on GA4. This session, as Shweta told, is very, very curated around what all feedbacks which we have received from you guys. We had a couple of sessions before in the last GNI. This GNI also we had 2-3 sessions which were more around GA4 and how we can track and explore more things which are there in a broad variety which are there in GA4. So without further ado, I'll just quickly walk you guys through what all we'll be discussing today. The first, we have curated some questions from a huge pool of questions you guys are sending us, and we have picked the most asked questions and the most relevant one, through which those are actually the real world problems. So we are going to discuss those questions and have a real world demo, a live demo to showcase to you how you can build those and solve those queries on your own inside your GA4 dashboard. Moving forward, on smaller parts where how you can measure small to small details on your websites, on your apps, on different platforms. So we'll do a recap of how we can implement custom events, dimensions, and matrices. Then we recently had an amazing session of NCI. So we'll do a quick link up how you can connect NCI to a GA4 so you can leverage the best out of both. And in the end, please hang on tight to your belts. We will be having a live demo to how you can implement these custom events live to your website. So you can have your copy prints ready in 15 minutes, and then we can get started on the custom event implementation. But don't worry about it. After this, we'll be sharing the whole recording. We'll be sharing the code implementations with you. So today we'll be focusing more how we can implement it and how we can map that data inside your GA4. And as always, we'll be having Q&A in the end. That's the most exciting part. The whole session of today is derived around all the Q&As we had in different GA4 sessions. Let's jump in. Okay, so we had curated these FAQs. These are all the FAQs which we have received in as a feedback from our last sessions. I'll go one by one on these FAQs, and I'm hoping that most of the questions which we are going to encounter today will be covered inside these FAQs. But yes, in case if you see that your questions are not there, please feel free to add your questions inside the chat box below. The moderator team is there. They'll pick your questions and we'll try to take them in between or after the session. Cool. So let's start with one, and that is being the top asked questions. And the next one, we will try to club these questions and we'll show you a live demo of how we can do it. So let's have second question, how we can track a particular category. So we'll set it up for you in the exploration and then we can take it for, but let's also include another question into it. Is there a way to find out real-time traffic source? Either it is social, it's coming from any specific referral app, or it is coming via organic. But let's take you to the live demo of GA4 and we'll take these questions one-on-one. Cool. So hope you're able to see my screen. So in this, if you wanted to see that from what referral source my traffic is coming from, you get to your reports, you go to the real time comes in, you would be able to see from where your active users are coming from. So there's a drop down which says first user source. This is anyhow default enabled. You can always switch to first user source or medium. It will also give you what all part of it is coming from and what part of it the from what referral your traffic is coming and getting onto your first user source. Now let's go to this second question, which is how we can track and how we can make sure that on what categories I am getting most of the users. See, so let's get to the basics. What categories? So there are a couple of ways of doing this. One, and we're going to showcase the most simplest one. Whenever there is a category involved inside an article, so any article consists of very basic things. It is post, it is there's a slug into it, there's a category name into it, and a URL is a combination of your base URL. Then there's a category URL, there's a slug, and if you want to include more variables on top of that. So we'll get to the most basic part, how we can do that. So for doing that, let us set up some explorations. Now, what are explorations? We need to demonstrate the data. How you can get to exploration? So if you just follow my screen, this is your home of your dashboard. On the third part, there's a part called explore. You click on explore. Okay. When you get to explorations, you will see all these 4 or 5 charts which are coming over here. Let's click on, let's make a fresh one. You click on fresh exploration data. Now, some of the events which we have discussed a lot of time before, some of the events are automatically collected events. And the GA4 code which are implemented, those code will always be there inside your GA4. Now, how to get that code inside these explorations? And this is again a broader question of this is how we are going to see the progressive data, progressive graphs, which we are used to see in earlier version of GA4. So you can do all of these things are here. And exploration is something, trust me guys, if you start doing can a graph of this, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's start with very basic. There are 2 parts on which the exploration measures data. One is dimensions, one is matrices, and there is segments also. For this question, we're going to just go with dimension and matrices. So for example, I wanted to see how many users are there on this particular URLs. Okay, so for that, let me find out what is the nearest part of it. So I'll find out what is my page URL. You just type page on top of that on the search bar, and you'll get a couple of things which you can see over here. So let's say I choose a host name. I'll choose my page path and query string. The page path will give me all of my URLs, and query string if there's any UTMs or if you pass $amp, it covers almost everything which are there inside URLs. I'll add one more thing which is page title, and I click on confirm. So when I save this, all 3 dimensions will be visible to you. Now these dimensions, you wanted to see what is the value of these dimensions, right? So how many people are on this page path? How we'll do that? We'll do it via matrices. So on matrices again, there's a plus icon. Again, click on that plus icon and see what do you want to track. So I want to track page views. And now page views is views again. So we'll just type views over here. I'll set views. Add on, I'll say, okay, let me also check users also. So I'll type again users. There are a couple of other different categories of users. So for example, I click on total users, I click on active users, I click on new users. Let's have everything. Cool. Now I wanted to see how many, what are the graphs, how traffic is getting to my dashboard. Okay. So then there's a settings part of it. Settings part, the default visualization is table. So we'll keep a table here. And in rows, I wanted to see what all URLs are coming. So on rows, I click on this rows and I map page path plus query string on top of that. And in the values, I wanted to see how many views are coming to that particular values. Once you get that added, you will see all these URLs which are coming over here. And if you wanted to see more, these are 10 rows which are there. You click on 25, 50, 100, whatever number you wanted to show it over there. These will start coming over here as well. Now I wanted to see how many users are coming on to one category. So let me choose one category, which is like a random number. So don't want this data. This is just all demo data. And on top of that, before we get into category, these are all the page views which are getting on this particular part. If I also wanted to see how many users are coming onto it, I'll just add one more value to it, which is total users. And it will also start showing me this is the number of page views and these are the number of users. So we have cumulative data at one place. Now I wanted to see the users on a particular category. How can I do that? So there's on this settings column, there's a last tab which is called filters. I'll click on filters, and in filters, I'll choose whatever value I wanted to add or whatever filter I want to add. So I want to add a filter on my page path. Okay. So on page path, let's suppose let's say I use a slash blog. Okay. When I click on slash blog, if a particular URL is there or a particular string is there, it will always be inside your suggestions. So that is a pretty indicative that okay, there's some data recorded to that part, and I click on apply. So for example, on this, I have a category called slash blog. I have 2 for views on it, and a total number of 2 users are coming on that. That is one way of how you can see how many users you are getting on different categories. Again, if you wanted to do more things onto it, you can add more filters. For filters, you just again click on that particular path. You can also check exactly matches, begins with, ends with. There are quite many filters which you can start doing that. And when you post searching that filters, you will see what all URL patterns are coming onto your particular GA4 data. Awesome. Let's get to next questions. So we have covered this, we have covered this. Now let's get to the next question, which is track login screens and registrations. So there are a lot of ways of doing it. One way, which is the most simplest, is again you build an exploration on the same. What is your, how many people are coming to your slash login page, how many people are going to slash success page. That's the easiest way of doing that. But in case you wanted to collect more data out of it, how we can track the registrations link, user data, their names, their IDs. How we can do that? You can do that via a custom event code implementation. So we'll be explaining custom code implementation in very detail. But yes, in case you wanted to do a bird eye view of your user registration logins, you can do it. The way we did for category. I guess from ages now, and that's a good practice to use. You can see what all data is coming from what all sections. So we'll get to that. We'll show you a live demo of doing the same. Next is how we can differentiate AMP and non-AMP traffic on a new GA4. So it's a very valid question actually. And this is few dashboard, exploration which I see almost daily. Like it's a part of my daily routine. Okay, so for the same, let's get back to our let's create. Let's start with a new exploration because we wanted to tackle 2 situations. Visible? So let's start with a new exploration. So we have 2 questions on our mind: how we can track UTM and how we can track the new AMP differentiation between AMP and non-AMP. So let's start with UTM's part first. Again, for explorations, let's pull in some new data which is used. So page path, any page path, page title. On matrices, users.
Vaibhav, I think there's some issue with your internet because the screen is actually frozen. We're not able to see the dashboard.
No issues. Let me check.
Yeah, still on the FAQ page.
Shweta, I hope I'm audible now.
Yeah, we can hear you, but we are still at the FAQ page right now.
No worries. Let me share the screen again. Ready?
Yeah, it's fine now. We can see the
Fine.
dashboard.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. So again, so we were there on explorations. Let's get to the exploration part. Let's have again the matrices enabled for us. Let's get new users. Let's get total users and confirm. Okay. Now we wanted to see how many users and what UTMs we are going to track on our part. Let's measure the page path and query string, and we'll place views or total users across that. I wanted to see what is happening in last 7 days. So I'll put the filter of last 7 days over here. Okay. Now I want to see what all pages are getting into UTMs. Again, let's put a filter. Go there. And on filters, when we are trying to track question mark UTMs, we'll click on question mark UTMs. We'll have contain because UTMs are usually in the end of the URL. We'll place question mark UTM. Now, when we'll place UTM, again, one suggestion which is there that UTM, if those are getting tracked on your website, on your web pages, you will see those in recommended parts. So I won't choose any specific UTM. I'll just enter a question mark UTM and click on apply. Now, here I would be able to see how many pages are and on what specific part we are tracking question mark UTM with, along with what are the values which are getting passed inside it. For example, if this is coming from social, this is coming from YouTube, different part is coming from Daily Hunt, Facebook, from different platforms on which or on different campaigns you have passed your UTM values onto it. So that's the most easiest way on which you can pass or track the UTM part of it. Similarly, if you wanted to have the differentiation between AMP and non-AMP, it's pretty simple how we can do that. Similarly, we have this page path and total values which are compared. Again, we can go to contains because some websites have the different ways of implementing AMP. So I've seen the people who use plugins, the people who are on a different custom CMSs, they have /amp in the end of it. Some people have /amp in the end of your base URL. So it could be abc.com/amp, or it could be your abc.com/slug/amp. So it's always recommended to have a /amp as a part of your URL page string, and through which you can implement that. Similar to the way we have calculated UTMs. Similarly, we can calculate what are the views I am getting on my AMP pages. It will be containing. We're using the same filter of /contains. In the contains part, we'll use /amp over here, and if any page where we are going to where we are tracking /amp pages, those will be showcased into the suggestions, and you could just submit save. For non-AMP pages, what you can do is pretty simple. For this particular exploration, just click on duplicate. So you have now two explorations, one where you are getting all the pages without AMP, and one exploration where you are getting the pages with /amp onto it. So yes, it's fun. I understand that building explorations, once you start using explorations, I'm damn sure you'll getting new ideas, what all data, what all filters I can get, and my AMP exploration set it up inside GA4 dashboard. But always remember, when you're saving your exploration, always give it a name. So for example, this is AMP and non-AMP users. When you get back to exploration, this exploration will be saved inside your exploration. And you can see always access it from here. When you click on from here, all those filters will be added as they were there before. You can also rename these small configurations which you are doing. So for example, I can have normal page views, and this could be my AMP pages. So it's a different, it's a a definite differentiation between what all explorations you are building. Good. Let's quickly jump to the next question which we have.
Vaibhav, just a question, because we were talking about AMP, right? I think there's a question from Umesh. Is AMP still relevant in the current scenario? AMP can cause URL duplication issue.
No. So let me answer both of the things. And this has been, I've been hearing this from a very long time. And it's a good platform to actually clarify that. Yes, AMP is very relevant. Still relevant because it's a controlled part of your code, right? When you say controlled part of a code, the AMP page is very optimized. You can't use a number of third-party JS. You can't use a number of different, other implementations you have done to it. And coming to the second part of your question, which is duplication. No, it's not duplication. Whenever you create an AMP page, you clearly define a relationship between a page and your AMP. So on AMP, you always define that there's a canonical of this page, which is your parent page. And on your parent page, you define there's an AMP HTML version of it. Now, when it comes to relevancy, Umesh, if your page, both of the pages have amazing core web vitals, then it is upon search engine what page it wants to list it to. For example, usually on desktop when we search it is a canonical page of yours, but when on mobile you searches, it's usually the AMP page. Why? Because AMP page is more optimized version of it. But in case you always, if you wanted to have an apples to apples comparison, you can always try to optimize your non-AMP version. If you wanted to have more and more page views on your non-AMP pages, you can always try to give it 100 core web vital score or 100 performance. If you matches that particular criteria, then search engine might give preferences to your non-normal page rather than an AMP. But usually AMP is anyway more optimized because on normal web there are a number of factors which are there, but in AMP all these things are easily handled with vNode.js, which is the main JS via with which AMP got solved. I hope that answers.
Yeah, thanks, Vaibhav. We have more questions come in. Do you want to take the questions and then move on to the other questions?
So let's complete these FAQs and then we'll have 5-10 minutes in between the questions.
Sure.
We are already on questions, then we'll get to more questions. Awesome. Cool. So let's get back to our FAQ. So the next one which we're going to pick is we would like to have a detailed training session on real-time report, how we can customize real-time reports and which articles are and keywords are working on real-time. So it's very easy. For real-time, you can easily track on your basic dashboard on the report, real-time reports, what articles are trending in the real-time. Let me show you right away how we can do that. Cool. So let me get to reports. Let me get to my real-time. So when I come to my real-time reports, there is one section which is called views by page title and page screens. So here, all the titles which you are going to see, these are the titles of your pages which are trending in real time. So when I say trending, I mean those page views on which you have more users. And there's always previous and next button to it. You can always see what all users are there on what number of your pages, and these are the title of your pages which are coming. So it's very easy to identify in real time what all things you're getting trended on the page. Cool. Our next question, and these are just two last questions, so we'll just quickly browse through. How we can identify whether user page views peak in morning and evening. So it is more tracking of page views in granular part. and how we can create a custom dashboard or a screen where we can track everything at once. So let's get to the first question, which is how we can identify whether a user peaks in morning and evening. Okay, so let's get back to our explorations. I love explorations. Cool. So we have these explorations built. We have built it for my normal page views recipes. Okay. Now the table is just one representation of your exploration. You can try to represent in other parts also. Okay. So let me duplicate it. Okay. And I just wanted to track my total users. I don't want to track my views, or I can track views and not users because my views are more. Okay. And on the settings part, we have a tab called visualization, which comes on the top. On visualization, you can always get different type of visualization. So when I wanted to track at what time I have the peaks, so the line graph or line chart works best. And let me put it to yesterday because I wanted to track it for one day only. Here, there's a section called granularity, how we can do that. So usually the granularity is set to day. You can always set to hour. So when you set it to hour, it will give you a point by point that on what particular time you had the most number of users. So for example, according to this part, at 6 p.m. I had the highest number of page views. I didn't have any page views across the day, but at 6 or 7 p.m. At 6 p.m. I have the highest number of page views. So this will give you at what moment, at what hour of the day you have the most peak, you have the most number of users which are present on your dashboard. The next question was how we can build a dashboard to see all the data at once. The easiest part is to have your NCI set up for this. We'll discuss NCI a bit in detail in a bit of time, and we'll do in the custom code implementation. So there is a section called historical performance onto it, which when you link your NCI, on the third tab, there's a tab called content. On content, you have a tab called historical performance. Inside this, you can have a date range of 30 days and all the section which you have built on. So for example, this section will flow in. Again, how they will flow in, we'll explain you the custom event part and a very easy solution. Here also, you can do a post author, and based on your different audience, you can see what all performance is. So for example, I'm seeing a historical performance right now where I wanted to see how many posts my author has gave. So I have an author called Heminder Singh. He written down a few articles on which I've got around this many page views and these many readers have listed. So similarly, you can have a historical performance thing at one place. If you want a dashboard where you can see all of things at once, NCI is the nearest possible good solution to it. And in case you wanted to have a custom dashboard, there's another method of it using Looker schemas or Looker dashboards. If you wanted to configure it for your data, please connect to us one-to-one, and we'll be happy to walk you through that. Cool. Let's quickly jump back to our FAQs. We have cool. Thanks, Shweta. So I've been telling you that we'll do a custom event code implementation. So I'll just very briefly walk you through what are custom events. These are events which are not default tracked, and you wanted to track those events using custom code implementation. For example, you can create an event called article view, which tracks different parts of it, like keywords, what all keywords are getting fired, what all category on which is getting fired. So those are called custom event code implementation. How you can implement that? So there's a small snippet of code which you want to implement on your website, and bam, that's it. You will start tracking them. How you can configure on those events on GA4, that will show you inside a live demo. You can also create custom audiences. Since you are now started getting custom events, you can also create custom audiences also. What are custom audiences? It's a segmentation of your audience. So for example, I'm tracking a custom event code for my iOS app or for my Android apps, and you wanted to club that users. So that becomes like your custom audience. We'll showcase to you how we can get a custom audience in your live GA4 dashboard as well. Now, what are the key functions of custom audience? Why to create custom audiences? It helps you basically with the 4 parts. One, it helps you segment your users. Like if you want to segment your users on devices, on user actions or visits, it helps you do that. You don't have to apply those filters again and again. It can help you with personalized targeting. So in case you wanted to do some action on that audience, that okay, these are my iOS audience, or this is my brand living audience, or the audience who spend more than 30 seconds on one single page, can I target them? Those actions could be either triggered via GTM or some custom code could be implemented with the same. You can do behavior analysis. So another great, I would say, offering from GA4, that you can do behavior analysis on different groups, and always those the black box of what these users might do, what those users might do, you can have those answers with the help of this. And last but not the least, you can always track your cross-platform users or cross-domain users also. So we have got a question: can we do a multi-site collaboration of the data? So you can do either multi-site, or you can do either multi-platform data collaboration on the audience part also. Now, we recently have a session on news consumer insights. It was a great session. What we can make, what changes we can do inside a GA4 that makes our news consumer insights more interesting. You can identify your key readers. So with few code implementations, you can identify your audiences, like these are my brand lovers, registered users, newsletter users, using either custom code or default codes. You can tag your site with events. So on GTM, in fact, or on GA4, some events which you are not able to track, you could implement a GA custom event code for the same, and you can track that. You can mark your key events. So for example, if you want to mark an event, if user spends more than 30 seconds on my page, I'll try to configure that user as a brand lover or my loyal user. So those key events could be marked over there. And you can view your custom data set up for NCI dashboard. So if you are using custom event codes, custom GA4 event codes, you can even link them to your NCI, and you could build a good historical data the way we showed you for one question. Now, how we have been listening custom events from quite a long time. So I'll finally pass this on to my colleague Ram. Ram will take you through how we can create custom events and how we can map them to your GA4 dashboard. Ram, over to you.
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks so much. I think the live demo of Epic is by the highlights. So everyone, I think every publisher will be have some good demo there for the frequently asked questions. Let's move to our next set of questions. That is custom events. So basically, we are hiring custom events again and again. So what does custom events does for you? So one answer in what will be whatever is not available in GA4, custom events helps you to get that data in GA4. For example, you have all the list of articles, what articles are being read in GA4. But right now you don't have the data. What are my top authors? What are my top performing categories? What are the content type of different users that readers are interested in? Are users interested in videos? Are users are interested in photo galleries? What are my top authors? How I can get a list of top authors? What are my top performing categories?
Ram, just a small request. Can you close your PIP of Google Meet?
Yeah, sure.
You can just click on the cross. I think it should close it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to get all these answers about the authors, about the categories, about the content type that the user is interested in, so there is a step one. You need to put this code onto your website. It's a very simple JavaScript code. If you are non-technical, don't worry. We will share this code with you, and you can pass this code to your web developer. And on the article page, first step is to get that code inserted into your article page. Once that is done, now let's move to the live demo. Once that code is in place on your website, so here my event name is article_view. So for that, what you will go to the reports, you will go to the events, and once after 24 hours, you will see that event here. So article_view is here. So because we have put this code on the article page, what this event gives you, it gives you the count of article view. So that means 135 users have read your article in totals, and there have been 319 article view total. Now, jump to our questions. We know these have been 135 users who have read our total articles. But right now, we don't know what are the authors of those articles, what were the categories of those articles, what were the content type of those articles. So to get this data in your GA4, there is step 2. For that, you will go to admin. In admin, you will go to custom definitions. And in your code, if you see, for this event, I have put 3 parameters. One parameter is author name, second parameter is content type, and third parameter is category primary. So we will be using these 3 parameters to create our custom dimensions. So how will you do that? Go to custom definitions, then create custom dimension. Here you will choose that parameter. In our case, my parameter name was author name. You will choose author name. You will put a name of this dimension. You will describe this dimension and name of the author, and you will save it. So what essentially I have done, I have created a custom dimension. Name of my dimension is author, and I have put event parameter as author name. Now this is ready. Now I want to get a list of top authors. For that, I will go to explore. We will create one exploration that will give me a table of a list of all the top authors. Then for that, I will create a blank exploration from scratch. And in dimension, all the custom dimensions that you have created, that will be listed here. You will choose post author here. In matrix, let's suppose you want to get all the users who have read articles of authors. So for that, you will choose total users. Click on confirm. Now, let's move to the second right side of this explorations. In the rows, you will choose your dimension. That is, in our case, that is author. You will keep all the values same, and in values, you will choose total users. So this will give you the what are my top performing authors. So here, Hemendra Singh, the articles written by the author Hemendra Singh has total users 356. Pooja Dasori has the total users who have read articles written by this author. 38 users have read the articles written by this author. If you want to have total views also here, you just go to matrix, you will choose views, and you will confirm. Along with users, you will choose views here from the values part. You will choose, and it will give views also. If you want to filter out node set data, choose post author, select mesh type that does not exactly contains node set. Apply. So you will get data of the top article, top authors of the articles. So this exploration is ready for you. You just need to save this exploration name. You can name top authors, and this exploration will be ready for you. Similarly, if I want to create a list of top categories, again, I will go to the dimension. I will choose categories. So this list is you will get this list once you have created your custom dimensions. So every custom dimension that you create, that I have shown in the previous step, all the custom dimensions will be listed here. You can choose any custom dimension from there. For top categories, I have created a custom dimension that is post categories. I will choose that. Again, similarly, I will from matrix, I will choose my total users, views. In rows, I will choose categories. I will choose from values. I will choose total users and views, and it will give you my top performing categories. So for updates category, there has been this many users, these are many views. For case studies categories, this many users, this many views, and you can again similarly save this. This is my top categories. You will save this explorations. Again, you can go back to top categories dimension, and you can change the date as per your convenience. So now my list is ready of top authors. I know what are my top authors. I know what are my top performing categories. Other than exploration, you can use the custom audience to create a segmentation of your author by segment. You can segment your user based on your authors. you can create a audience for any specific categories. Let's quickly do that demo, and then we can move ahead. For creating the custom audience, again, you will go to the admin and you will go to the audience. So now I have my list that I want to create a audience of users who are interested in this category updates. So for that, I will create new audience, create custom audience, add a new condition. My event name was article underscore view. So you will choose that. And in parameter, my parameter name was post categories. You will choose exactly matches, and you will choose you will get all the list that is available here. You will get all the list here. So let's suppose I want to create a custom audience of users who have interested in case studies categories. The case study is a category name. Apply. So you will choose. You will see the total number of users who are part of this audience. You will give a title: users interested in case studies category. You will give a description and you will save it. So from the day you have created this audience, the data will start from coming on from that day. So the sooner you create your custom audience, it's better for you. Similarly, I can create audience for particular author also. So for that, again, you will go to events, then you will move to the article view. You will choose parameter now author. You will get a list of all the authors. Let's suppose I want to create a custom audience for the users, Satvik Misra. I will name users who were read content written by Satvik. And you will save it. Now you have a list of top authors, top category. Similarly, you can create audience of each and every author, each and every category. Similarly, it's up to you if you want to. Similarly, if you want to have a list of top content type, you can again do the same for the content type. Create a custom audience for the content type. Go to the explorations. There you can create a list of all the top performing content type, be it videos, videos, audios, or photo galleries, and you can create custom audience for each and every content type. Similarly, if you want to track how many users are registered and from what source, you can create a list of sources, and you can create some audience depending on those sources. Similarly, for website search, you can track what are the users that what are the top search query that user are searching on your website. For newsletter sign up, if you want to have how many newsletters have been signed up for users, you just create a custom audience for newsletter sign up, and you will have a list of all the users who have signed up with your newsletter. Similarly, if you want to get sources of all the articles that user are sharing, you will track this custom audience when user is sharing your article, and in sources you will get a list of all the sources that user are sharing your article upon. Similarly, if you want to track what are the best performing products for you, you will create audience and explore similarly. And how you can use this custom audience in your Google Site Crippling, Hemendra will be take it from there, and will give you some idea about the Google Site plugin and how you can leverage this site. Over to you, Hemendra.
Thank you, Ram. So, thank you, Ram, and thank you, Vaibhav. That was quite insightful. I have one update for all those publishers who are using WordPress as a CMS. So, we have an official Google's plugin for WordPress publishers, which is SiteKit. Allow me to just share my screen with you. I hope my screen is visible.
No, it's not.
No, Hemendra.
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, thanks, Vaibhav. I think there's some issue with the sharing. So, if you want to get all of these insights which Ram and Vaibhav has talked about, setting up custom events directly from your WordPress dashboard, then Google Sitekit plugin is your one-stop solution. You can configure key Google products. You can link your search console. You can link your AdSense. It will also give you information about the core web vitals of your pages. It will give you a very authoritative and up-to-date advice on how to succeed on the web. This plugin is regularly updated. In fact, the latest version came last night only, which is tested up to the WordPress stable version of 6.6.2. So install it, try it, and let us know how you like it. What is your feedback? It is absolutely free to use. We would love to hear your feedback on this specific plugin. I'm also dropping the link of this plugin in the chat box. We'll also share the slides and recording with you from where you can download this plugin. Setting up is very simple. You just need to log in with your Google Analytics accounts, select the property, link your search console as well, and the data will start to flow in. It automatically creates all of these events like your WordPress authors, your WordPress post, your WordPress categories, and WordPress publish date. And since the plugin is also updated, we are hoping that a lot more support will also come for your publishing needs. So do give it a try and let us know how it works for you. So thank you, everyone. Over to you, Shweta.
Yeah, thanks, Hemendra, for sharing about that. I think we're already on time, but we'll see to it that we're taking as many questions as possible for the next 5-10 minutes. So there's a question from Shobha. She's asking to select the authors from list initially. Do we need to implement the snippet that is given for fetching otherwise views?
Yeah, definitely we will be sharing this code, and you first step is to get this code implemented on your website.
Okay. A question from Prasad Naik. Can we go subcategories by clicking on main category in the custom report?
Yeah, so in that case, basically you have to have two event parameters. One parameter could be the primary category, and second parameter can be the secondary category. So if you want to have a list of your primary category, you will choose the first parameter. You will create custom dimension for both the event parameters, and for primary category, you will get a list of the primary category. And for secondary category, you can have a separate list for your secondary category, basically.
Hope that answers your question. Thanks, Ram. Another question from Ishan Suneja. Can you please perform setup process to place events using GTM?
Yeah, we can share the sample code for with GTM also, like we have shared the GA4. That can be done.
I think Prasad Naik again. How to check top read pages within the category on any particular day?
So Prasad, it's pretty simple. You just set up an exploration, choose in the timeline, choose a particular day, and that in that particular day, how many pages you have read, and how many pages and users you're getting on that particular. Very easily use an exploration. If you want, we can give you a demo on that as well.
Are you showing the demo right now, Vaibhav, or later?
We can do right now. Okay, let me just present the screen. So you go to explore inside this. So for example, I wanted to see what all pages of mine are getting trended today. I click on views. Again, you have to choose what all exploration we are creating. In dimension, I can choose page path and query string. Here in values, we can choose how many views I've got. So for example, I wanted to see for a particular day. So I'll just choose 6 as a day, like one particular day. And in rows, I'll map page path plus query string. So these will be your number of pages according to URL which you can see. These are specifically for views. If you want to track users also, you can import user metrics, like similarly how we have done before. Like views and total users are the most relevant metrics you can have. In values, just add to total users also, and you can see that on 6th of October, these are number of views on these many URLs, and these are number of users on these many URLs.
Thanks, Vaibhav. We have a question from kvartha.com. How can I create a custom report in GA4 to track the most popular news articles or content on a daily basis? What metrics should I include, and how can I filter the data to focus on the most relevant information?
Okay, so for like if you wanted to do a daily base of report, like the easiest way of doing is again by explorations. You can, like we did for a day, you can do the whole timing for a broader period of time, let's say for a month, for a week. There are some preset amounts of time ranges which are available. You can have that, and you can just switch between days to check what all trended on what particular day. So that's one of the easiest part through which you can do that.
Thanks, Vaibhav. Another question from Neerav Ukani. Does connecting Google Analytics with Google Ads improve ad spending efficiency to drive more user traffic to a website? Not for retargeting previous visitors, but to provide Google a reference to build a lookalike audience.
So I didn't get the questions properly, I guess. Does it improve
does connecting Google Analytics with Google Ads improve ad spending efficiency to drive more user traffic to a website? Not for retargeting previous visitors, but to provide like a reference to Google, to build a lookalike audience.
So I guess two things here which are combined. One is if you combine your AdSense to GA4, it will give you a better view of better viewability of the metric which are getting tracked. For example, how much revenue is getting there on a different screen. So for example, on home screen, on article, category, AMP, non-AMP. That'll give you a more holistic view. And yes, you could build certain audiences which you could target based on, for example, I've built an audience which is there for my iOS users, which is there for my Android users. So you could target that audience, and you could, in fact, implement a couple of A/B experiments which you can do via GTM. So that's one way of putting it, that with your GA link, you would be able to see data in better holistic approach, and you would be able to do some experimentation like A/B testing on basis of audiences if you create audience. So that is one. But yes, if you have to answer it in one line, it will just help you visualize your data.
Vaibhav, I think the question is not for AdSense. It's a question for the Google Ads platform. It's the marketing platform we're talking about here. And just to answer this question, so when you create a custom audience, you have the ability to export that custom audience to AdWords, right, to the Google marketing platform. And from there, you can create a lookalike audience which matches the audience which is coming there. And hence, you can target a larger number of users similar to the users who are accessing your site, and be able to broaden the reach of the users for your marketing campaigns which are there. I think that is the question which is being asked. I guess because it's talking more about Google Ads platform and not AdSense. So yes, you can do that, and you should create custom audiences if you're doing that.
Yeah, Neerav, hope that answers your question. We have Castro from Dinasuvudu. His question is, what actionable insights can we derive from integrating Google AdSense with GA4 Analytics? And how can we leverage these insights to optimize ad placements, improve click-through rates, and increase overall ad revenue?
Okay. So if you integrate your actions with your GA4, there could be a couple of actionable insights you could get. Like what ad placements are getting better engagement, what ad placements you are getting more viewability, uh, the value which they're adding to your overall revenue. That answers the first part of your question, I guess. The second part is how uh, different placements could help you. So the granular data with the help of custom code, if you wanted to derive some other metrics on top of that, you could always put your ads in different containers, which could give you more granular level details of different placement which are there on the page.
We have another question. Are there alternative methods or tool to achieve the same functionality as Google Sitekit without sacrificing website speed?
Yes, so Sitekit is more of a WordPress plugin. It is mostly for people who don't want to get their hands into code. The custom code implementation with my colleague Ram shared with you. Through that, you can implement it on any platform, on any different web page styles. Uh, so that's one way of implementing it. If you don't want to, like, there's a question which you asked, you don't want to sacrifice the performance. You can always put some part of it into defer. So when user consent to your page, so for example, if user scrolls or user performs some action on your page, you could trigger all of the data at that moment of time, because that's what, if you're collecting the data which is user initiated, you could always defer that. So that is another way of doing implementation if you don't want to fire everything in the first go.
Thanks, Vaibhav. We have a question from Sumit Sarkar. So he's asking, as like we have tagging the URLs was there in UA, a multiple type of URLs, could get tagged into one. Is the same functionality available on GA4 also?
You can group URLs in GA4. You can't exactly tag them, but you can always group URLs in GA4. And even you can build a sample data grouping those URLs. It could be a category-based URLs, or it could be identifier-based URLs. So you can do that in GA4 as well.
We have another question from NTV Telugu. In Google Tag Manager, our website has one issue that some of your pages are not tagged. Can I know how to fix this issue, especially AMP pages?
Okay, so if you remember in the last session, and we'll share the documentation again, there is a tool which Google has built now, through which it gives you that on what all pages your tag is not getting fired. So you can always browse that particular part inside your GA4. It will give you a list of pages on which your GA4 is not implemented or should be implemented, or GA4 feels that this is a part of your same domain or a same like a URL group. You can do that. On AMP pages, if you want to do it manually, this AMP-analytics or using your GA4 ID is the easiest way to find that.
Thanks, Vaibhav. We have a question from Sajo KJ. Is it advisable to redirect 100% of smartphone traffic to AMP pages?
So first of all, it's not advisable, because you must be using your pages from pretty long time. The best way is to flow that traffic gradually. You could have your whole mobile website as AMP. It's called combined AMP. You could research a bit more on that topic. You can have your full mobile web as an AMP, and let the browser or let the crawler identify your pages on its own rather than doing it forcefully. But yes, it is doable.
Yeah, we're taking the last question. Sumit is asking how grouping can be done. I think he's talking about the URL grouping.
Okay.
Can you please show it for multiple URLs?
So, Sumit, we could share some documentation with you, and the documentation you could get from GA4 or web.dev platform as well. We'll share the documentation with you along with that. The team will reach out to you. In case you have more questions on that, like, feel free to reach out to Hemendra or reply to the GNI email. We could get on one-on-one to show you that.
I think, okay, the last question, Pradnya Gaikwad, how could we get drill down data which was available in UA? We can't find section-wise data in GA4. Vaibhav?
Yeah. So, I think it's not able. Okay. So, drill down data, if I'm talking about drill down. Yeah. Yeah. Got it. So, yes, the drill down data, exactly not sure if you wanted, you're referring to sections or other part of it. But if you wanted to explore data which is more around section, like section or categories or some broader segmentation you have done on a website, we can do that very easily via, again, explorations. That's I'm sorry, I keep on coming to explorations, but that is a one word answer to a lot of the problems which we face daily. You can create segments on, or you can create segment-wise explorations for different sections or categories or broader variables which are there on your web pages, and it could give you drill down along with custom events in case you're firing those custom events on your pages. If you have any issues around building an exploration for your different sections, just please reach out to us. I will be happy to have a one-on-one session and experiment more on exploration and segmentation.
I think there's more power in GA4 than there was in UA with respect to explorations and custom dimensions, custom metrics. You can capture each and every small detail. You can go as granular as you want, and to be able to segment it, represent it in various different types of graphs, right? We saw the free form. You can do a pie chart, you can do a scatter plot, you can do a line graph. There is just so many different visualizations, funnel views for purchase or subscriptions. So it's a lot more powerful. It's just a matter of getting used to, but it's definitely way more powerful than UA.
Thanks so much, Vaibhav and Ram, Himendra, Manish. I think great session and really some good questions that has come in. Hopefully the session was helpful. Please see to it. You fill in our feedback survey form. And if there's anything else that you require from us, please do let us know with regards to GA4. But thank you for attending the session, and see you again very soon for the next one that we would have. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.